What's up, guys? Welcome back to a DraftKings Best Ball stream plus a Blitz pack party. We are going to draft a DraftKings Best Ball draft, then rip open a Blitz pack for the August Blitz Best Ball competition. And of course, when we're drafting Best Ball, we got to have the guru with us. We've got Justin here. Justin, how's it going?
What is up? How's it going? I just finished an underdog draft with JJ Zacharyson, late round QB. We put together a nice little triple stack. He's a Pitt boy. Went to Pitt. Pretty sure he still lives in Pittsburgh, or at least is definitely a Steelers fan. Obviously went with a Pickett double stack.
Love it. Love to hear it. Justin being so bullish on the Steelers. I it's honestly kind of breaking my brain. Going to be pretty awesome. I love the conversation that we had last stream, Justin. We were talking about George Pickens and, everybody in the world now tweeting about George Pickens for his crazy catch the other day. Remind the people what is the singular bet that we have on Pickens this year?
It is Christian Watson versus George Pickens. Most fantasy points, weeks 1 to 17. Underdog scoring. I think it's pretty simple.
Should be a pretty fun bet. Going to see either one of us, either Justin or myself, doing some push-ups on stream as a part of that bet. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. I love when we mix in some crazy bets like that and things like that. So look for that to be part of this show as we continue to move forward. All right. Without further ado, we should probably just jump in. Should I jump in this one with you again?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm pretty poor at hosting and drafting, but I do think they're pretty fun. So all right,
I can take over some of the hosting duties.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the people are here for you and you only, my friend. If I can add the slightest bit of color to get a laugh or a smile, at least out of an occasional guest, then usually my job is done. So the people are here for your brain.
There we go. Are you ready?
Hold on one second. Let me get over into the best ball here. NFL Best Ball. Enter. Okay. All right. I am ready when you're ready.
I'm in.
All right.
11 of 12. Are you in?
I clicked.
All right. Maybe one person from chat will be able to join us.
I'm not in.
Are you serious?
I'm in a new one. 2 of 12. Too quick. It's all good.
That's okay.
Now I'm going to draft a team and you're going to draft a team. It's going to be awesome.
Well, see, you can X out of yours if you want.
True. Actually, let's do that. I can't possibly watch your draft, watch my own draft. I mean, talk about a disaster.
I mean, the other thing is I was going to just go jump in a second one with you and just do this one on my phone at the same time. But
hey, man, I'm all for it. We'd be waiting a while. I feel like we'd be waiting a while.
Yeah, that might be. That's fine. All right, we'll just.
I'll withdraw and we'll focus on your entry.
We'll do this one. We'll have some fun. Couple familiar names in here. Yeah.
I see Top Shot, Hot Shot trying to put me through the ringer. He says 2 drafts at the same time. That's just like commonplace for Justin. Of course, that would be like me doing a singular draft, trying to watch Justin draft and trying to host. I can barely walk and chew bubblegum, Top Shot, Hot Shot. So give me a break here.
Yeah. Other thing is doing 2 drafts on this same site is a little more challenging. I think if you're doing one on phone and one on computer, it's then not too bad. I think a challenge would have then been doing those 2 while also being, conversational in a stream and such. But usually my go-to is 2 drafts at the same time from different platforms. So then I can pretty easily flick back and forth. I think someone mentioned it in chat today too, that from a mental mind share, I can be like, all right, this one, I have this structure. This is the stack I'm going for. And then drafters or underdog, different color scheme. Like my brain just is like, okay, I know what this team is. It's a little different.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, the color, you made a mention of the color scheme there. That definitely makes a difference when you're looking at the same site for 2 different drafts, trying to decipher where your next pick is. I can see how that can quickly become confusing between what team am I even looking at right now versus if you're on 2 different sites, easier for the brain to have a focus on a given site and the given look of and feel of it. So that definitely makes sense.
I did a rough count of how many drafts I've done thus far. Have an updated guess?
Oh man, I always end up forgetting because the one that I was like mainly focused on was the one that you guys did it all together. You, Corinne, and a few others where it was like a bunch mixed together. I'll say 850 as an updated guess.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I think I was at like 700 and something on
Yeah.
that stream. And then Christian McCaffrey falling to us. We're going to take CMC. Cooper Cup having that little hamstring injury. CMC just feels like a little better play there. We'll go back to the draft board. 925. 925.
Wow. On the grind. August is here. The season is not that far away. We have our first game, our first look at some live NFL action. I have no idea who's even going to play, but it really won't matter. We got NFL action back on the screens, and yeah, the people are ready.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, it is the Browns versus the Jets. What level of confidence would you have that without doing any searching or anything, you could name one player that will 100% play in the game?
Oh man, put me on the spot.
Here would be the hypothetical. If you get it correctly, you give me $1. I mean, I give you $1. If you get it incorrectly, I would get $100. That's like how confident. That'd be like 99%. How confident you have to be. Would you take that bet? Do you have a name?
I'd be going deep into the brain. So I would not be that confident, quite honestly. I would probably be like, it would be a 50-50 toss up, maybe. I certainly wouldn't take the bet because it would just be a pure guess of a name, a pure flyer that I would be throwing out there. So I will not take the bet.
Can you, I mean, I think this, like, if you know who's starting QBs, that's the easy one. So, like, I at least know those. But, like, could you get kickers? Do you think the kickers play?
I don't even know if I could get kickers.
Second string, third string, running backs, wide receivers. I mean,
yeah, I would definitely struggle. One guy that like immediately popped into my head was Conklin as like a tight end. Like, is a tight end gonna play? So Conklin popped into my head, and then I was like, is Zach Wilson gonna play? So those were a couple of the names. I was always going on the Jets side of things. For the Browns, I honestly have no idea. I would be pretty clueless on the Browns. I mean, Cooper is not gonna play, and I don't think really anybody that I would know honestly is gonna play for the Browns.
All right. Jalen Waddle just goes. I don't love that. We are in a kind of gross spot here. We could
nothing like being in a gross spot on pick 21 here. I like Devonta.
We're gonna go Devonta and hope that Hurts can fall back to us in this pick. Was talking to the ETR guys earlier today, and I'm pretty low on Jalen Hurts on DK because I'm not willing to draft him at his ADP, which is 18. And then I usually don't take this gamble of grabbing Devonta Smith here for Jalen Hurts to fall back. But then Dink was telling me that, like, now that's how he actually has a decent amount of Jalen Hurts because he does that. So we'll see. We'll see if it pays off. I mean, there's Josh Allen is a bit, Lamar went here, so not expecting there to go. Yep. Okay. So it's whether or not we get Jalen Hurts with this one. Otherwise, probably go Josh. And there it goes. Jalen Hurts gets
Jalen Hurts.
Doesn't make sense. Why not?
Yeah, that one is pretty baffling to me. I don't know what the need to get Hurts there is.
I don't know. And I think I'm pretty sure this is a content creator for Stochastic as well. So I was thinking, maybe he's going to be a little sharp. Maybe he'll because you can go Josh Allen in that spot and grab like a late stack with Gabe Davis or either of the tight ends. But like if you go Jalen Hurts naked, your only real stack option is going to be Dallas Goedert. So I don't love that, but hey, to each their own.
Yeah, for sure. I would think like if they had Brown, obviously, then you wouldn't even kind of go with the Devonta Smith pick, but because no one has Brown, the first three guys don't have Brown in front of you, then it makes sense for the position you're in. But kind of weird to see him not fall back, quite frankly.
Yeah, that's okay.
So I know the conversation or the debate or a little bit of the inside joke between you and at least one person, if not a couple of people on Twitter, is you do a ton on Underdog. We've been doing more best ball from a DraftKings perspective on our channel here. What's your take between Underdog and DraftKings? Where do you think people can find maybe a bit more edge, or where there might be a little bit of a softer draft? Do you think it's DraftKings or do you think it's Underdog?
Yeah, I don't think it's even close. And I know Liam said the opposite, but there's just absolutely no question that DraftKings is substantially softer from a competition wise compared to Underdog. I think Drafters has actually gotten pretty sharp just because it's a low, there's not as many people playing, and the people who are playing know that there's going to overlay, know that like they can, just get a bit more plus EV from drafting wise because of that overlay situation. But DraftKings just continues to be the absolute softest. And now that we're in August, I'm expecting DK to start giving out a bit more promos and such. This is the month where if you left drafts to be done, like you want them to be on the DraftKings side of things because it just gets so soft. I think Underdog is going to get a little softer as we go forward. A lot of the sharper people are close to maxing out or drafting fewer. There's more public, just normies that are coming in, the people we play poker with. Yeah.
You guys heard him. It is our time. It is the normies' time to rise. Football is a little over a month away from week 1, and yeah, it's time to get into some best ball drafts. I certainly am not the sharpest drafter or anything like that when it comes to NFL, but I think the biggest thing is trying to find the best spot for you to deploy some capital. And I listen to you guys a lot, watch you guys draft a lot, and if you're looking to try to find the softest games, it continues to seemingly be on DraftKings. So I'm excited to do some drafting on DraftKings. I do a lot more golf stuff from a best ball perspective on Underdog, obviously. So good to get into the NFL streets from a DraftKings standpoint.
Yeah, that is ugly stogie. I've trying to draft a little more just this week in general because I think there's substantial value out there, but I usually try not to actually draft like during the day because I think for the most part, like that's where, if you're in the middle of the day and you're drafting on Underdog, you're probably someone who like is very familiar in the weeds, listening to podcasts, doing a bunch of drafts. I really want to get the people that, hey, I've got early morning ones, people just waking up, they kind of forget, or they're trying to get one in before work, or the evenings or weekends ones. I just feel like you're seeing fewer and fewer badges in those. Obviously, if you have to do, so many drafts, you gotta be flexible. But yeah, 3 o'clock on a Thursday feels like badge central. Hi, coming back to us. We are on the clock. Probably want to grow up some wide receiver. Mike Williams is some good value right here. I don't think there's any reason not to draft Mike Williams. We'll grab that.
All right, so we're pretty uncorrelated here, just as a rookie kind of watching this draft. So is this where you're starting to think, hey, I've got like the Josh Allen you talked about being able to stack them up on the back end of the draft? Is this where you're thinking, in rounds 15 to, I think there's 20 on DraftKings, right? In round 15 to 20, are you able then to kind of start getting your stacks and correlation together, or what's your thought process here?
Well, you got to think of the specific teams. So like for Josh Allen, it's Gabe Davis, who would be in probably the 6th or 7th round. It's Dalton Kincaid, who's something around the 11th round, and it's Dawson Knox, who's around that like 16th, 17th round. And so you just kind of build for that. So I'm expecting this to be a 3 tight end build unless we get substantial falling value. Highly likely to include at least one of Kincaid or Knox, possibly even both. For the rest of spots, I'm like, okay, probably not grabbing another QB for a while. Definitely not Herbert. Maybe it's a Brock Purdy team and go with Allen and Purdy. Feels like the right amount of draft capital for the QB position. And then it allows me to be like, okay, so maybe I keep an eye on, I would maybe grab Terry McLaurin there because of the San Francisco, Washington week 17 correlation. Maybe I grab Ayuk here for the San Francisco aspect.
It is wild how you just instantly make 3 to 4 picks and your brain is able to narrow down the player pool. But I love the conversation that happens in these drafts and just kind of watching you do your thing, because I think that I don't know if you're like me, or if you're just kind of a normie out there. If you do, somewhere between 10 and 50 drafts, I think it can be like kind of challenging and overwhelming. I mean, there's not a lot of time to make your pick. So I do think like trying to leverage the starring and getting some exposure to the correlated matchups and stuff like that are all things you got to be thinking about. So trying to think ahead of your pick is certainly something that I've tried to think about and make sure I'm leveraging starring players in the queue and all that good stuff. It's definitely not as natural for me as it is for some of you guys.
So for this one, TJ Hawkinson was my highest ranked player. We were getting about a half a round of ADP value on him at a position of need. And I do like TJ Hawkinson a lot. But the challenge with Hawkinson is his bye week is 13. And so if we go Hawkinson here, and I already said I want to grab like a Dalton Kincaid or a Dawson Knox, we're then really already saying like, hey, we have two tight ends with the same bye week. I don't love that, especially when I'm investing heavily at the top ones, and then you have to get a third one. And like, it's just rough. So normally would have liked to have grabbed TJ Hawkinson at that value, but given the bye week situation, ended up going with a wide receiver in Drake London.
Makes a ton of sense. If you get somebody like McCaffrey, or you get a early running back, is that instantly kind of hoping to narrow down, like, I'm not going to spend as much draft capital on running back, or are you still kind of like letting the draft happen and see what happens, see what falls to you from an ADP value standpoint? Or are you like, all right, I have an idea of what my build is going to look like, just knowing I'm getting a running back early?
Not just one, but if I grabbed a second. So like if Tony Pollard fell to here, we would have drafted Tony Pollard. And even though that's a second running back, but then after I have my second running back, now I'm like, all right, I'm probably not drafting another running back for at least 4, 5, 6, if not even more rounds. But just drafting one of any of the kind of running back or wide receiver position, I don't think substantially influences how you should act. If I grab a QB or a tight end early, that very much obviously does. Like Kyle Oz here, bit of a interesting. I don't know if this was a 80. I don't know if this was a mistake, an auto pick here, because Lamar and Andrews, you get your stack. Like, okay, it's a little early, but I think there's definitely some sharpness to drafting these two together and getting a unique guy like Jamar Chase as your third. But there's zero reason to grab Burrow. No, it's not auto drafted. You grab Jamar Chase, so he literally did it for that double stack. I don't love that. I think that is I think that's a bit of a fishy move there. But yeah.
Very interesting.
Looking elsewhere, seeing QBs and such, because obviously we want to see QBs go off the board as much as possible because we've already got our Josh Allen. We're not trying to aim for another QB for a while, and this means other spots then fall. All right, Goddard and Waller both going quite early. That's picks 63 and 65.
Hawkinson started the run of tight ends there by that gentleman. And everyone
this was an ADP value. Usually Hawkinson is going right around this area, often at the 412 or 5-1, so that the person who grabbed Justin Jefferson keeps the Minnesota stat going there. Yeah, Waller and Goddard, those ADPs are not where they were just drafted here. If we go tight end and show drafted, you got Goddard at 69, Waller 69. They went a little early. They went 63 and 65.
Not
coming
too bad.
Back around. I do not like Miles Sanders. This is getting a little ugly. Sanders is at the top of the queue. Pittman is an option. Mike Evans, Gabe Davis. Yeah, we've got to grab Gabe Davis. Get that stack with Josh Allen. All right, so 4 wide receivers that we invested a decent amount of capital on. Best running back, my opinion, best QB. So we definitely have some strong upside. This may even turn into a 4 tight end team, depending on the way we see things shake out. But I think we feel good about the 6-man start.
Yeah. Knowing that it may end up being like a four tight end team, do you think you would have rather Hawkinson over London, or you feel pretty confident that was the right move?
No, definitely not. Because if I grabbed Hawkins in there, I'm then saying, okay, this has to be a 3 tight end team, or I'm giving up my Buffalo stack, which I don't want to do. And now I'm weaker at wide receiver. Okay, back on the clock. Sanders falling. Now we may at least we'll put him in the queue and consider it. Bit rough at wide receiver. Nothing there. Nothing there. So he picked 76. Sanders is 64. We're getting a full round of value on a guy I don't love, but a position of need. So we'll take that. Those are the kind of ways that I get exposure to someone like Miles Sanders.
Just don't love the offense in Carolina. Don't love Sanders as a player. Don't love the entire kind of all of it. Any specifics there?
Yeah, I think he's a prototypical dead zone back where he's getting drafted on volume. There's this allure of maybe he's going to become a pass catching back, which he hasn't done since his rookie season, but I just don't see that happening. You then also have two other guys behind him, like Chuba Hubbard was actually pretty good last year. And no reason to believe that like he can't either be a pass catching back or, kind of cut into that work. Rookie QB, Carolina's probably not going to be a good team, even though they do have a strong offensive line and like an inclination to want to run, which Chuba and Deonta Foreman last year both looked pretty good on the ground. I just think Miles Sanders is someone that could be, not that efficient, could lose his role or lose substantial parts of his role, and the offense could just be pretty bad in general. But getting that around later makes it now more tenable.
Makes a ton of sense. Whenever you've got rookie QB, going to be quite an interesting situation down there in Carolina.
Yep. All right, let's see what else is happening in this draft. Over here in the 12 spot, we've got 5 wide receivers, 3 running backs, no QBs, no tight ends. That'll be an interesting one. In the 11, no QBs, but 1 tight end. Yeah, 1 and 12. Both are on a 0 QB, 0 tight end build. Pretty interesting. And then Kobe's grabbed his second QB, Tua, to stack with Waddle. Which obviously that stack makes sense, but grabbing it with Fields is definitely spending a lot on QB on this site. Hopefully he'll stay with no more QBs for his build, but we'll see if he ends up taking a third.
Feels like a lot of running backs have gone almost even more running backs than wide receivers, which to me is a little bit nuanced. Seems like.
If we look at the board right now, the top running backs from ADP are 88, 86. We're at pick 91, so like got a couple there. All the wide receivers that are supposed to be off the board are off the board. I think it's just a patch of the draft where running backs kind of go. Like we did see a couple ones go a little earlier than normal. Dalvin, Kamara going a bit earlier than I would expect. David Montgomery, I'm high on, so I would not be upset with grabbing him. Could go Sutton, Moore, Bateman. Either of those are all fine, but let's grab David Montgomery here. And maybe we can grab another wide receiver on the turn. No tight ends that we're really looking at there. So pretty much just going to hope that one of those wide receivers falls to us at the 9-4. Does Hoyle grab a QB here? Would not shock me. Maybe Anthony Richardson probably won't make it back to him if he wanted that. He goes in Njoku. Cousins going here with the Hawkinson kind of early, knowing that if he didn't grab Cousins, he probably would have gotten drafted here. More running backs. So yeah, we're going to have our choice of wide receivers. For me, I prefer Courtland Sutton now that Tim Patrick is out for the year. So pretty clear that Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton will be the primary 2 wide receivers. Marvin Mims might be able to work his way in as the year progresses, but I think more likely Courtland Sutton should just be able to be have a stronghold on that job for most of the year.
Did I see it right that the Denver when they lost Patrick, they lost Hamler too, and that like same day or something like that? I know Hamler definitely not as relevant potentially there, but it was interesting to see they lost. Unfortunate to see that they lost 2 guys in the same day, basically.
So Tim Patrick will be out for the year. That looks like an Achilles. KJ Hamler should be out for about a month. It looked like something to do with some heart aspect. So something that should be fine and be back, but something weird was going on with his heart. So I think he'll be back by the beginning of the season. But yeah, as you said, not expecting to have like a major role in the offense. Marvin Mims was out earlier in training camp. Basically, came back like the day or two after Tim Patrick had his injury. Good for him to be able to get reps in practice to have a chance at kind of finding himself in 3 wide receiver sets, which will probably where Marvin Mims kind of plays out mostly.
Makes a ton of sense. Will be always very interesting to follow Denver with Russ. And after the debacle last year, all the changes, all the commentary out there in the public eye, should be a pretty fun and wild year in Denver, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, it's an offense that earlier in the offseason I was mostly avoiding just because, I mean, they're being drafted as if like Sean Payton's coming in and like the offense is just going to start working like old Russ again, which I think is a possibility, but I wouldn't say like that should be the clear expectation. And so you had like a ton of mouths to feed between, I mean, Samaje Perine and Javonte Williams, both can catch passes. Greg Dulcich, Albert O, tight ends. Then you have from wide receivers, Judy, Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler. There's just a lot going on. But as the offseason's gone on, Tim Patrick out for the year, KJ Hamler with his issue. We're starting to get a little more clarity. And
narrowing in. If they're going to be good, we're going to know who they're going to be good through, essentially. So it's always good from a fantasy standpoint.
Yeah, so that gives us a little more confidence. All right. Rodgers stack with Patrick Mahomes. I'm not stacked, but this team has Austin Power has 0 stacks, but
yeah, baby.
Aaron Rodgers. I mean, but this is like there are very few people I think on Underdog who like are just not paying attention to stacks at all. But like this is a clear example where Mahomes before the Kelsey. Not grabbing any Chiefs pass catchers so far. I guess Sky Moore got taken right before him, but still. And then Rodgers, which is a reach, but again, no.
Also just uncorrelated Rodgers just feels like a pretty strange pick in the 9th round.
Yeah, agreed. We'll see if he wants to grab Lazard or something else as it goes on. Maybe wants to backdoor, but my guess is that it's someone who doesn't understand the value of stacking in best ball. 12 spot going back-to-back QB with Geno and Daniel. Oh, Dalton Kincaid going early. That is pick, 112 Dalton Kincaid went. Yeah, we'll miss out on that one. That's too rich for my blood.
Divine Glory must be watching a bunch of those Chess Liam streams out there hyping up that man, Dalton Kincaid. That's for sure.
That must be. I'm trying to look here. He grabs Justin Herbert without any Chargers. Yeah, and so for us, like in this draft, if you don't stack, it does decrease your chance of advancing. You could also argue that like it makes our teams a little worse because we're not able to complete our stacks as easily. But most importantly, like some of these teams are going to advance into the playoffs, and like you want to go against teams that don't have stack partners. All right, Anthony Richardson by himself. Zach Charbonnet, Jerick McKinnon, Khalil Herbert. None of these wide receivers. But Bateman almost fell to us. That would have been really nice. Tight end, nah. Trying to think. Probably let's just grab Jerick McKinnon. Could have grabbed Chicago, Khalil Herbert for the Atlanta, Drake London aspect. Little game, week 17 bring back, but we don't have anything from Cincy or KC. Maybe that was probably actually the play more I think about it, but maybe Khalil Herbert will be able to fall back to us.
McKinnon a little more valuable in DraftKings with the PPR, obviously. To feel like that's going to be, seemed like that was his role at least in the playoffs. I got to imagine he's going to continue in that pass catching back kind of role. I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he has the trait, he has the trust of Patrick Mahomes and the coaching staff there to kind of pass block, which I think is very important. They do have a new guy, Deneric Prince, who
Mm.
apparently has looked good in practice, and his role is very similar to Jerick McKinnon. I think more likely we don't actually see much Deneric Prince this year unless McKinnon gets hurt. But there is a possibility that he could also eke into some of McKinnon's role, especially if McKinnon had like a short-term injury and then Prince showed well. Khalil Herbert will be our pick if he falls to us here, and then we can actually end up both of them, which is nice. If he doesn't fall and he went, oof, that's tough. That's
Man,
tough.
2 snipes.
All right, we have Russ, which gives us the Cortland Sutton and the Mike Williams game stack. Nothing really that juicy. I think we'll grab Russ here. Denver, LAC gives us a week 17 game stack in case Josh Allen disappoints. Or just can kind of be a decent like number 2 QB for this team. Cupe, you've been looking into the football rainmakers at all?
I haven't, honestly. I've actually really enjoyed Rainmaker's PGA. The reason I haven't dove into football is mostly because of the PA restrictions.
The
thing.
driving.
So
Yeah.
if it weren't like, hey, I need to make a 45-minute drive to get to the border to enter teams, I think I would be like really all in on it. I like the Rainmakers format a lot. I think like it also just lets you play for fun. I'm playing fantasy for fun in 99.99999% of instances. So I'm just like looking to get a sweat out of it and looking to stick to a budget. And when you're playing DFS and other things like that, I feel like it's pretty difficult to have like the right bankroll management and, are you going to win or lose, that kind of stuff. I feel like Rainmakers, you kind of make your investment and you enjoy the rest of the season. So I've really had a good time with PGA, and I'm interested to see what happens with NFL.
Yeah, I saw Boom in Discord made a post about he was doing an experiment for PGA of how he could do off of spending literally zero, just getting free packs, promos, and things like that. And it was fine. It sounded like he probably made around $150 or something. Just kind of doing some grinding, winning some contests, maybe some flipping here and there. I do know that like I saw like they're just starting to roll out a bunch of information over the past couple of days about the packs and such. It is a bit higher price point than I think some people were expecting. But I think as more info comes out, whether what the core looks like, what the rare looks like, maybe people just play a bit more the marketplace angle. I'm intrigued. I'm obviously going to be playing this year, but I need to just start digesting all of the information around the pack drops that has been released over the past 2-3 days. All right, Higbee just could be a position of need for us. I do like Higbee on DK scoring. Running backs are fine. Pretty much there's a gap elsewhere. So yeah, we'll grab Tyler Higbee just as a position of need. Also gives us a little more flexibility of a 3 tight end build if we want.
I like some Higbee, man. I especially with any news that Cup is a little bit banged up and maybe not get the standard amount of volume that he gets. Feels like Higbee is a nice safe target. Definitely someone who's gonna be someone that Stafford possibly leans on a little bit more. So I don't know. I like Higbee.
Yeah, I could definitely see a decent amount of 7 for 70 games. I'm gonna sneeze.
Oh, the best story ever is Herzig's going to sneeze, but he'll probably sneeze 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 times. It's unknown. Two looks like we're stuck on 2, so maybe 2. It's only 2 for today.
We'll see. I try to drink some water at the same time, trick the brain into be like, nah, you don't need to sneeze anymore. I barely found the mute button in time for that one. Okay.
Once you make this pick, I'll talk a little more Rainmakers. I am interested in some high level thoughts, but I think after playing PGA, there's definitely a variety of ways to attack Rainmakers and at least set like a strategic foundation for how you're playing to play the game. I feel like.
All right, let's see. 5 wide receivers, 4 running backs. Probably gonna try to. Oh, I know who we want to take. Oh, Marvin Mims is already drafted. Oh, this would have been a fun spot for it. Who took Marvin Mims? Oh, literally right there. Gosh, that's a snipe. Yeah, draft. I mean, his ADP has not moved up that much. Thought I would have been able to get him there, but we'll take MVS a little more. Another Kansas City.
Yeah, little
Rainmakers, go for it.
Yeah, so Rainmakers, I definitely think like trying to spread like whatever budget you make over the course of 2 to 3 weeks in the very beginning is important. I think it can be super enticing to spend a lot more than half of your budget in the very beginning before things even start. But what I recognize is there's going to be marketplace deals, there's going to be values. And the other element is in PGA, at least, you really wanted to get like a cornerstone piece. And from everything that I've heard in football, you really want to have that cornerstone piece as well, or even cornerstone couple of pieces. And you're going to want to end up spending, if you don't pull them in packs, you're going to want to end up spending on the marketplace. They're obviously going to be, it's more expensive in the beginning of the season. But from most everything I've heard, people really kind of want to have, the high end asset or two that allows them to kind of play and at least have one solid sweat of their lineups every single week. So to me, I think it's really about like the initial constraints of not going over on the budget right away and then having to like extend yourself into the marketplace. Because I think no matter what, if you're trying to get that valuable piece, you'd love to pull it from a pack. But in general, you're going to want to get a valuable piece sooner rather than later. And in golf, at least from the golf perspective, if you think about like top golfers, those guys, their prices were pretty stagnant most of the year. Yes, we saw some prices come down, but in general, if people pull them, they're not as willing to get rid of them on the marketplace. So you really just have a pretty big scarce factor there. So to me, I think the biggest thing is trying to control your budget initially, go with the pack pools that you get, and then know that you're going to make a couple of bigger marketplace purchases early on in the season, if not even before week 1. So to me, that's like a really important piece of sticking within your budget. I know for Rainmakers Golf, I wanted to play within like $1,000 or $1,500 budget, and I'm already, I haven't quite 2x the budget, but I'm definitely more pushing like 2,000, 2,500, which is pretty easy to do. And I can imagine football is pretty similar. So I think those are my couple of pieces of advice.
That's definitely interesting. Okay. I'll respond to that after we figure out this next pick. Irv Smith is a decent value. Or you pick 165. Sure. Let's grab Irv Smith at a position of need. Gives us 2 tight ends as we go forward. I'll probably throw in. We have McCaffrey, Sanders, Montgomery, McKinnon. Probably grab 1 running back here. Wide receivers are Devonta, Mike Williams, Drake London, Gabe Davis, Cortland Sutton, MVS. We could still use help at both running back and wide receiver. I think there's a bit more of a drop off after these running backs. Roshan, Gainwell. I'm happy with either of those two.
What do we got wide receiver here? What are we looking at from a board standpoint?
We got Shaheed, Jaden Reed, Hunter Renfrow. I do like Jaden Reed as well. Let's see. What do we have from week 17? We have no one from Minnesota, no one from Green Bay. I know we have the Chicago, Atlanta for Roshan. Kenneth Gainwell, Philly, Arizona. We really don't have anything. Well, we have Devonta Smith, but yeah. I'm thinking Jaden Reed or Roshan. Probably Jaden Reed if he falls. And Dawson Knox just got drafted. Okay. Guess I should have kept an eye on that. But God. That's okay.
Man.
All right, we got Jaden Reed. Yeah, so I think a little difference with golf and football is golf, there's like virtually no correlation of your golfers. And so a lot of it really is like my outside perspective is like you want to find the golfers who are good fits for this tournament, which could be based off recent course, could be based off course history, could be based off recent performance, could even be timing with weather and who knows or whatever.
Yep.
Football, I feel like there is a lot more correlation. And so maybe I'd be okay with football just being like, hey, I'm going to go with these 3 teams as my primary stacks, and then a couple other like solid players that I can swap in and out or something. Like maybe there's more of like at the beginning of the year, like more player strategy for your collection, then I can think of player strategy for your collection in golf and kind of predicting future tournaments or future games.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think another angle that is like unique to football is, unless somebody's hurt or on bye, which is only going to happen one time throughout the year, these assets are going to play every single week. So the utility is there. It's baked in.
Right.
With golf, you're out there trying to say, well, how many events is said guy going to play? How many can he get into and things like that? So, for me and like football, it's like, all right, well, I'm going to get utility out of these guys. It just matters like, do my lineups even make sense? Do they have the right stacks? Am I building and ceiling to take down the biggest prizes? As we know, as anyone knows that's played DFS, the prizes are going to be pretty top heavy. You're going to want to be aiming for some of the highest ceiling lineups that you can put together in order to just give yourself the best opportunity before toe meets leather to have a chance at some of the top prize pools. So yeah, I definitely think that makes sense. And so like trying to get correlation in the very beginning and trying to maybe say, all right, from my packs, these are the, maybe you have a list of superstar guys that you would want, but maybe none of those guys, or maybe only 1 or 2 of these guys make sense for the packs that you pull from a correlated perspective. So I think that totally makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, and I know for football, a lot of it is also like the showdown games, and you want to have cards that can be played in those showdown games. That doesn't exist really in the golf side of things.
Yeah, I wish we would have got a little bit of that. I was interested to see if they were going to do anything with this playoff set, but seems like it's going to be pretty straightforward. So no crazy showdowns. But yeah, for football, I imagine there's going to be a lot of different use cases for these assets. So it should be interesting to watch.
Yep. All right. Let's grab Rashid Shaheed. You can just tell there's a big teardrop after Rashid Shaheed from like the other wide receivers. So that's why I'm like, all right, even though there is a running back or 2 that I like, I'd rather grab the last wide receiver before that kind of major drop. These guys also really need wide receivers. This guy only has 5, 6, 6. I have a feeling they'll be drafting a lot of wide receivers in this group. There's Chuba, who I was just looking at. Makes sense. Also, he had Bryce Young, so he definitely wanted him. We had Miles Sanders as well, so I wasn't really – I'll do 2 backs in the same backfield, but didn't really want to do it with Miles Sanders and Chuba.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. For an offense we're pretty unsure about, getting 2 running backs seems pretty risky, I would say.
Yeah. Looking elsewhere too. Nothing wonky. No one has 4 tight ends. We've got 3 QBs here, but they're late. There you go. Kyle Oz grabbing a 3rd QB here with CJ Stroud after going Lamar and Burrow. Do not love it. And then Kobe's here. Fields, Tua, and a 3rd QB and Howell. At least have Terry. Not even Terry. Like, doesn't even have a Washington stack partner. That's why, yeah. It's just so soft over
just
here.
Running out naked Sam Howell, man.
Just so soft. Okay, we are back. Running back. We could go Ty Chandler. That's probably the right play here. We grabbed Jaden Reed too, so this gives us a nice little Week 17 mini stack. That will be our 5th and final, maybe final running back. We'll see. I'm definitely counting on grabbing 1 or 2 more tight ends. So we have 3 spots. We're done with QB. We need at least 1 tight end.
Yeah, my guess is we would have ended up with 4 tight ends with the way it panned out. So I'm interested to see what happens in round 20.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see because 2593, 268, I mean 2594, 2684, both of those kind of make sense in this. Most likely what we'll do is grab tight end here. And then 20th is just going to be, I mean, 20th is so much of a wasteland. We'll probably just grab whoever's the best player available between running back and wide receiver.
Makes sense for sure.
And then, all right, what about like for football, there's field passes and such, which give you kind of perks. From my initial understanding or reading, it's like if you're going to be buying a lot of packs, if you're competing for the collector score, what's their name for it?
Yeah, that's right. Like the weekly leaderboards, the Rainmakers score for
if you're going for that, you basically want to have the field passes.
I'm the kind of person that, like, I got it initially. I didn't really know if I would use it, but it seemed like the value was going to be there. There's like DFS tickets that they give you and access and things like that. To me, the pass makes a ton of sense. If you're going to play, you're going to be buying packs, at least half of the year or even more as they're a premium drop. You're going to want access to it. So I think, franchise score.
That's
I think
it was like collector scores top shot. I have that on
no, that's right. But I do think it's been valuable. I don't think you have to go crazy and get like the top end one unless you're really playing at Rainmaker. So I would just grab the standard field pass. I think that makes a ton of sense.
I was gonna say you probably want to grab it like around the level you're playing.
I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's correct. In golf, they did 2. They sold 2 different passes. I'm not sure. In football, I'm not sure if there's 2 or 3. But I do think you want to play. You want the one that you're playing the level at.
Yeah, no, there were a few, right? I think I saw 3 or 4 for
and it makes sense for football. There's going to be a lot more tiers, a lot more interest, things like that.
That's fair. What did we say prize pools are going to be? About $20 million, about $1 million a week.
Yeah, I think they're still kind of formalizing exactly what it's going to be and how it breaks down. I know there was a lot of conversation around the kickoff that it was slightly less. I don't think it was all that much less than previous year. So it's pretty on par with the previous year, which was at least from a marketing standpoint, it was a little more than $1 million a week. So yeah, it should be very interesting. I also personally like the way DraftKings does it with paying out a weekly leaderboard for purchases, for buying packs. I don't necessarily play for like the weekly leaderboard, but I like the fact that it's a thing. You can track part of it, and there is some dollars flowing back for franchise score. I think it makes a ton of sense for them to do that. And I think in football, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to get more and more people interested. So tracking, everyone always likes a good leaderboard. It's always interesting to know who's spending, who's playing, what levels they're playing at. So I do think it makes a ton of sense.
The tight ends have gotten quite ugly in this last 2 rounds. I mean, we saw like everyone going. Hurst, Ferguson, McBride, Musgrave, Henry, Fant. I don't know. I guess Josh Allen saying if you don't already have field pass, you can get one now. I think that sold out. Can't you buy them in second? You can buy them in the secondary marketplace.
I was gonna say you can definitely buy in secondary. I don't exactly know what the price is, but I believe at least for golf you are able to buy them on secondary. So you're certainly paying more on secondary most of the time. I think the value that they came with essentially the people did it. So no secondary for football.
Okay. Wow. Well, there you go. You cannot buy on secondary this year. Interesting. Okay. Tell you, I gotta read up, gotta get updated on everything.
Yeah, one thing I was gonna comment. You're picking here, so you pick, and as you decide what pick where you're going, Slayton.
Yeah, I'm going Darius Slayton.
New York should be a very interesting receiver bunch this year for sure. One thing I was gonna say is for Rainmakers, it's like quite difficult to even golf, like understand every bit of like what's happening. There's just a lot of moving pieces. So I think you can drive yourself a little crazy in the details. Shout out to our Discord, and link in the description to our Discord. The best way to play Rainmakers is certainly not a solo venture. Certainly jumping into a Discord, jumping in with a group of friends, trying to play things together, because it's hard to track every single detail by yourself. And our Discord always keeps me honest. I mean, I do 2 golf shows a week, and I still don't know every bit of details for Rainmakers Golf. Shout out to our Discord for always keeping me honest over there. So yeah, jump in the Discord if you're interested. The Rainmakers Golf channel's flowing, and there's already a lot of conversation about Rainmakers NFL. So it should be a fun year.
Yeah.
So much football stuff this year, man. So much football stuff.
I know. I mean, obviously, there's Rainmakers. Obviously, we have TOC coming back. We've got Blitz going on right now with some best ball. We're going to jump in and rip a Blitz pack as well right after this, right?
Oh, yeah. We're ripping a Blitz pack as soon as this draft is done. And if you're hanging on in chat, stick around for the next 10 minutes or so. Going to give away an August Blitz pack, whenever we rip it. We'll give it away here to someone in chat.
It'll be fun. And Rumble. We're going to have more Rumble announcements during a town hall early next week. What is that? Tuesday at 4:00, I believe.
Super excited for Rumble this year, man. I'm excited for the stuff we've got in the works and bringing it back to the people. So yeah, it should be fun. But I mean, there's literally going to be so much for football. So if you're out there listening to this, if you're playing at all, your Sunday mornings are going to be a wild bunch of hours there from 7 a.m. hell 6 a.m. if some of you guys are West Coast. It's going to be early mornings, and it's going to be 3 to 4 hour sprints to get it all in for sure. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, definitely need to make some strategic choices. Figure out which of your friends' leagues you're going to say, not this year.
It does seem to be the case. I saw a lot on Twitter. People continue to drop out of leagues. I saw even a lot of people in our Discord saying like, the leagues I'm in are mostly just to like keep track with some buddies. We don't really play for any serious money. And then, you get the occasional person that's like, if anyone's in a great league that plays for some serious money, I'm in. And it's a lot of crickets. Not that many of those out there these days. It's things like TOC and Rainmakers and other products where it's a community of people playing together and against each other, and rooting for each other all at the same time, which is what made TOC so great the first time around. So excited to have it back.
Yeah, 100%. Love that. All right, we ended it with Zach Ertz because it was barren at the end, and even if we only get a half season out of Zach Ertz, I think that'd be pretty beneficial for this lineup. Give us that 4th tight end, not bad. Okay, overall, I feel kind of iffy on this team. I think it was just things didn't really fall to us. People were kind of reaching when no one else in this draft is stacking. It's hard for us to really be stacking too much. But I think it was an okay draft. It was an okay draft.
Nothing like an okay draft. It's a $10 one, so you don't have to be too worried or too nervous about it. But all right, so that took us. What'd that take us? Took us a solid 50 minutes. We're about to play some best ball that is going to take no more than 3 minutes here. This is August Best Ball by Blitz. So if you haven't seen our Blitz game yet, you're going to get the entire Blitz experience here in less than 3 minutes. So this game is a pack-based game, so you can buy packs right now. The August packs are on sale. 99 gold pack or $10 pack is available. That's our big tournament. And then there is a single entry tournament as well for $50, 500 gold. So you can buy as many packs as you want in the 99 gold contest. In this contest, you can obviously only buy one pack. You'll get your pack in your account under My Packs, and then essentially you'll open it. You get 20 cards in Blitz and in TOC. These cards are cities and position, and you will get the entire position group. So if you pull a Cincinnati wide receiver, you'll get T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. You'll get all of the Cincinnati wide receivers. So it is interesting that it is not players and a little bit unique of an experience. So let's do it. Let's rip it open and let's create the best team that we can. Little digital pack opening experience here. I see the there we go. We gonna reveal all here, Justin, or you want to go one by one? We haven't done a reveal all.
Oh, I'm down for whatever you want. Let's do it.
We haven't done a reveal all. Let's go reveal all and see what we get. Oh, Pitt QB, first one. I said it last week, guys. We did one of these last week or maybe the week before, and we had no Pitt. We got Pitt QB, but unfortunately, we got no stacks. So I don't think Justin's going to let us get Pitt QB in there, but we'll see. I see KC tight end here, which is always pretty damn good. So let's build a solid lineup. If you're out there,
you might be surprised.
Uh-oh. What are we surprised by?
There's only 2 QBs, so Pitt QB is probably going to make it into our lineup.
Oh, I didn't even look at. Yeah, I didn't even look at that. Only 2 QBs, so looks like Pitt QB might make it in. While we got you guys here, let's put this out for you all. It is #Blitz. Get into the giveaway. Let's build a team and we'll give it away to you all. So type in #Blitz to join the giveaway, and then once we build this team, we'll drop it over. We'll pick a winner and then drop it over to you. All right, where are we going? So we're definitely going Baltimore QB. We only have 2 QBs. So
yeah, I think you got to throw them.
You got to just go both, right?
Yeah.
We're obviously. Go ahead. Give me the Kenny
Pickett. So I'm okay with it. But quick review in the pack. Yeah, 5 tight ends, 4 defenses, only 2 QBs. Not ideal. But yeah, usually I'll go through. So running backs, we've got 5 to choose from. If I was to rank them, let me just say I'm glad this is August and not July, because Indy, Las Vegas, New York Jets, all of those have kind of question marks on what that backfield's going to look like.
Yeah, before we get too deep, can you give me like what happened with the Jets? I know like Breece Hall they expect, but I saw some Dalvin Cook stuff and I saw some more social media today. What the heck is happening with the Jets?
Yeah, I mean, just Rodgers. So starts with Rodgers. Rodgers took a major pay cut to his contract. We don't really know why, but it's very team friendly. Thoughts are that's to be able to go sign Dalvin. Maybe it's because they want to make a trade for Devontae. I don't know. But what I think at least is like, okay, you've got more money. They bring in Dalvin. Dalvin wants the starting job. Dalvin wants 10 plus million a year. Jets aren't going to give that to him. Reports are Jets are willing to give him like 5 million a year. And obviously he's going to play a complementary role to Breece Hall. Probably play a little more early on. And then as Breece comes back from his injury, gets healthier, they play a bit more of a kind of 50-50, 60-40s type split. So that's what that's looking like. Indy's even crazier because we don't know what's going on with Jonathan Taylor. We don't know what's going on with Josh Jacobs. We're going to start this draft just assuming. Yeah, I don't even know. Let's go Jets, Colts, and Las Vegas.
Jets were like the lock for me here, and then I have no idea what's happening with Jonathan Taylor, but like too good of a skill set, going to play, obviously going to want to play well. So yeah, it just makes a ton of sense there. And then yeah, Jacobs was a beast last year, so
but he's holding out. Like
true.
We don't know with all 3 of those are question marks, but for now we're going to put them in. From a wide receiver, Houston and Carolina are both ugly rookie QBs. Buffalo we like obviously a lot. Oh my God. Arizona might be. Oof. Arizona, Houston, Carolina are some of the worst wide receiver rooms you can imagine. Robert Woods and Nico Collins, DJ Chark and Adam Thielen, Marquise Brown. I guess I'd probably go Arizona. Why? No, but it's like. Yeah, I'd go Arizona.
I think Arizona. I think you're right. Yeah. I think as ugly as it is, I think Arizona makes the most sense here. What are we doing tight end wise? And we got so many tight ends here.
I love Kansas City, and let's throw Buffalo in as well because you're going to be getting Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. So we like that combo. Defenses, we'll probably go 2 defenses here. I'd go New England.
No one Arizona. No,
definitely
not. I figure we want Seattle. New England over Detroit. I have no idea about Detroit this year, other than the fact that they're pretty damn good last year, and their offense should be good. But good. It might in general just be like 35 to 28 games essentially. That ain't helping from the defensive standpoint.
And this is one of those tough ones where like Kansas City running back is definitely the best card still available. But like, how often are they going to be over those other 3 strong running back cards? And like our second wide receiver is really light. So I'd probably go with another and say like
Houston.
Let's go Carolina wide receiver.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the chat right
Bryce
now.
Young a little more than CJ Stroud.
Hit the reroll button. You pull the most rerollable packs every stream. I do love that. Yo, shout out you guys. If you win this giveaway, you can go jam that reroll button for sure. We're gonna always stick to streaming. We're gonna always stick with one pack and one pack only. We've done it that way so far. So yeah, this is what it looks like. It's a little bit of a messy card. A little bit of a messy card with some stud performers though. I mean, I could see a couple weeks where we're rocking a tight end flex, little Buffalo tight end and Kansas City tight end getting in the action from a scoring standpoint. I think it's possible.
Yeah.
All right. Let's give it away. How many people?
We need one more chance. If anyone, if you're watching, put in hashtag Blitz if you want a chance at winning this pack, and we will give it away. Got a few in here already, but only a couple. Very good chances right now. Bit of a slower Thursday.
Yeah, a little bit of a slower Thursday. Couple more seconds to get in here. I've seen more blitzes and more people. Uh-oh. Where do we go here? What happened? What happened?
Why am I so much? What are you doing?
I don't know what happened. Too many buttons to click. Jam it in there. Hashtag Blitz. There's 15 of you out here watching. Only 3 entries.
But there's more than 3 from chat. So
I know. I think the StreamYard tools is, oh boy. That was the wrong thing to click. Let's see.
I think we're gonna have to do it again. Oh, there you go. Okay,
we're back.
We're good. Okay.
All right, 7 entries. Give it another 10 seconds, and then we're firing. Couple guys that are heroes. Giant Hammer says, this is the pack I'm destined to win. Stogie says, I need the pack down bad on PGA playoff packs. Yeah, shout out PGA playoff packs. Going to be a fun 3 weeks. Should be awesome here. All right, we got one more entry. Here we go. Letting it fly. Best of luck out there. If you want to re-roll the pack, you certainly can. We'll drop it in your account right after the show.
GL. Give me the OTM account. Give me it. Oh, wait, look at that. He called his shot.
The Babe. That was the Babe calling his shot right there. He said, this pack is destined to be in my account. Hammer, I hope you re-roll it. I hope you have a Pitt triple stack QB wide receiver tight end in the re-roll for sure.
Nice. Okay. This was fun. Weekend plans, Cupe. What are you up to?
It's my son's 3rd birthday this weekend, tomorrow. So, been spending a lot of time with him. Went to a little amusement park yesterday. He had an ice cream cone that was as big as his face. So he's been enjoying everything about his birthday. Got him his first set of real golf clubs. So got a couple, got a little three club set for him for his birthday. So should be pretty fun weekend celebrating the little man.
Love that. That sounds like a blast. I've got some family in town. We're doing a nice dinner Friday night at this old-fashioned Italian steakhouse.
Ooh.
Black and white pictures all over the walls. You know that they're the person who owns it is standing at the door greeting everyone.
Sinatra in the background. Oh yeah, love it.
They got one TV that's literally just playing black and white. What's the 3 Bo and Mo and Curly?
Three Stooges.
Three Stooges. They
Larry
just get
Moe, Larry Moe, Curly.
Right. Yeah. Basically that.
Love it. Nothing like an old school Italian place also is so different these days than like a modern, more modern Italian place, like literally night and day experiences. So yeah, good stuff. You guys will enjoy it. All right. That'll do it for us. That was the brain, the guru, the best ball champ, Justin, and me along the ride for some color. Blitz. If you're out there, want to play Blitz, link is in the description. Get into that August contest. It'll be available all August long. You won't have to finalize your selections until August 31st at 11:59. Tons of great stuff coming from a football standpoint. Next week, Tuesday, Justin made mention of it. Discord town hall for OTM and Jolly Jokers. Ton of great stuff coming. All the details on TOC. A lot of details on Rumble. We talked about there's a ton of football stuff coming, and it is here. August is here. Football is here, and it's go time, boys. So appreciate you all listening in. Have a great Thursday. Best of luck out there in all your PGA contests, all your drafts, all your football stuff. Best of luck out there in just about everything you're endeavoring into these days. So, all right. He's Justin. I'm Cupe. We will talk to you guys all next week. Later.